Good evening, beautiful woman. Welcome to Isaya's Inspiring Evenings, a podcast full of goddess series, witches' secrets, colors of women and fairy seasons to integrate serenity, abundance, joy, and magic into your life. I am Isaya Bell, creatrix, magical pragmatic inspiration mentor, tech goddess teacher, and traveling priestess. And this podcast aims to accompany you for peaceful and inspiring evenings. Isaya's Inspiring Evenings has had various iterations and styles and is published irregularly. Subscribe to the podcast on the platform of your choice to be informed of the publication of each new episode. If you like this podcast, please support it by leaving stars, blue thumbs, and reviews on whatever platform you listen to me. In 2024, there are going to be 5 series in it, for now. All different, all aiming to inspire the audience, all telling stories, each complementing each other. One series titled Women Lighting the Way is about women's stories, centering around the past or future speakers from the various Women Lighting the Way Summit, adding to the virtual library of women's stories and providing a much-needed counterpoint to the many men's stories going around in our world of patriarchy. This is one of those episodes, and I'm happy to invite you to listen to the story of Lois Warnock, recorded in 2023, entitled The Displaced Soul. Oops, I'm in the wrong body. Embracing your divine soul. Enjoy!
Well, hello there, beautiful souls, and welcome to my presentation called The Displaced Soul. Oops, I'm in the wrong body, about embracing your divine soul. My name is Lois Warnock, and I live in rural Alberta, Canada, in the foothills of the majestic Rocky Mountains. And before I share my story, I would love for you to join me in calling in the beautiful energy of spirit. So I want you to begin with relaxing and letting go of your breath. Just breathe it out and just allow your feet to connect to the ground or have a vision of it. And as you close your eyes for a moment, just allow the violet flame to be placed in all 4 corners of your space. And imagine that that violet flame fills the room with a beautiful violet mist. So as you breathe it in through your nose and then blow it out through the mouth gently, releasing it. And as you release it, the violet transmutes anything that is less than, that does not serve you, right here, right now. Breathing it in again and sending it down to your root chakra and through your feet into Mother Earth. Release it and observe. Just continuing to gently breathe in and out. The violet will take everything less than out to the universe to be transmuted into the Christ white light. And now taking in another breath and sending it up through your crown chakra, out to source, and then releasing. And just observe, breathing it in gently and releasing. And now taking one more breath and sending it to your heart space, your heart chakra, and allow it to wrap around your heart area as you breathe out. Relax and observe. And then when you're ready, come back to the room, to the present. So now, my story. I am now a spiritual psychic artist and medium, a spirit coach strategist, an intuitive artist and instructor, and a multimodality energy healing practitioner that includes 4 different Reiki Master designations, a crystal resonance therapy certification, and advanced meditative studies in Primus Healing Techniques, and several more. What I've learned is that these teachings have provided an incredible vibrational healing for me, and I wasn't always on this path. Um, I kinda jumped all over the place, tried to find, my true soul path, if you will, and, on my life journey of as well, trying to overcome many adversities that had been kinda thrown my way. Um, so I wanna share with you kind of an overview of my life, and some of the things that have made me, who I am in this journey. And, part of it was, um, you know, having survived, uh, much. So some of it was, several near-death experiences. Uh, one of 1 or 2 I'll touch on. I am a thriver, after domestic violence, and I also journeyed through stage 3 breast cancer. I've had several severe life-threatening infections, that took me out to the angels, to visit, and as well a 20-year chronic lung condition, or autoimmune disorder. Um, I also suffered severe chronic migraines that started at the age of 10 and really did not dissipate until my late 50s. And interestingly enough, they subsided when I truly stepped into my soul mission of spiritual psychic art. Hmm, food for thought. I grew up in a family of 12, a very middle child. There was always this part of me that felt like I was in the wrong body, from a young age. I would say to my mom, "I think I'm in the wrong family. I think I'm supposed to be somewhere else." And she would shush me out the door, saying, "Go play," "None of that, go play." And, that was that. And I had my first near-death experience at about the age of 7, as I almost drowned in a lake. Um, and I'm pretty sure that I saw the image of Jesus then, and I also felt very comforted by his presence. And then for many years, I blocked that out. I even had an image in my mind of the boy who came out to save me in the middle of the lake, and finding out later that that actually wasn't him. It was my older brother that had, swam out to pull me out. So interesting, as I journeyed through that, and the more I started to recall, the more I, um, realized what that experience was all about. And then, along the way of life, raising 2 kids and then having blended families later, there were many other adversities. Um, However, I kinda wanna jump forward to the last 20 years, and I feel like, I don't know if you've ever had this crisis moment of where you have this epiphany of there's something more out there. And, I was raised in a religious family, um, you know, going to church, uh, participating and all of that, and I feel like I always questioned things even when I was young, and, I don't know that I ever got any answers, but I was always the child that was curious and, wanted to know more and wanted to know why. I always wanted to know why, and so I feel like my crisis moment uh, in my life, the main one was when I got very sick about 20 years ago with a very debilitating lung condition, an autoimmune, challenge, and it kind of what happened is after 4 years of the traditional Western medicine route, unsuccessfully solving my health issues, or the condition, I was actually encouraged to try Reiki to teach my body how to heal itself, and I was curious. I never say never. Willing to try things and, uh, you know, kinda went for it, and so as I started that journey, um, I noticed this real shift in how I felt and my energy, what I recognized as my energy, and I became so thirsty to learn everything, and I could sign up for everything, and of course, I was still working, part-time in the business environment. And so, I just kept taking course after course and kept going. And then, um, I started this crystal resonance therapy 2-year program. Part of it was, becoming the human crystal, using crystals to really connect with your body and your energy and all the healing that went with it, and then the Primus Healing Technique, and my body and life changed at that point. I mean, it wasn't instant. It was as I was going through that 2-year program, and when I look back at it, um, that was life-saving for me. And so I was truly committed to learning and healing, by then and have continued, on that journey in different ways, but, still going. And I'm just wondering, have you ever had that moment where, something's happening in your life and, you just knew you had to do something? You didn't know why, but, intuitively, when you look at it intuitively, you just know that I have to do that. And that was me in 2012. Um, I had an opportunity to go on a spiritual trek to study in Alaska. And I thought I was studying energy healing, and it was on spiritualism and mediumship, and at this esoteric school. And that's kinda what I thought I was going to because I was doing the energy healing, and wow, um, was I ever wrong. But I knew I had to go. I just knew it as soon as I heard about it, and so I was really not expecting this life-altering experience that moved me from this, bureaucracy-driven careers to becoming a spiritual psychic artist and medium. Um, and what happened on the was on the second day of learning about the masters of the Far East, Buddha, ascended masters, spirit helpers, my teacher stood in front of me, and I see her clear as day and said, "Your master is Lord Maitreya," and I had never heard of him, "and he is here to tell you that you're a spiritual psychic artist." And my response was, what? And why would I want to do that anyway? And I was kind of flippant about it. I haven't done any art for 45 years. I did one painting in high school, and I was told to be quiet and listen. And she said something else, and then I continued with, well, there's so many people do art and blah, blah, blah. Um, I don't know why, I wouldn't be able to earn a living at it is kinda, I think, what I told her. And she said, "Be quiet." And there was this sudden, energy in the room that was so absolutely pure, but so thick. It was like it sorta came over me, and I went, "Oh, I do need to just be quiet and listen." And so, I was there for 2 weeks, intense classes. And I arrived home, and kinda for a couple of days wondered, "What the heck am I supposed to do with this?" Like, what does this really mean, for me? And so I kinda wondered, what is this all about? Am I can I do this? I think that was the big question. Can I So, once I got home, I, sat in meditation and contemplated what had happened and tried to put it in, you know, perspective of where I was now, back at home. And I remember making the conscious choice of saying, well, they to myself, well, they brought this to me. So intuitively I knew they brought this to me. And so there must be something to it. And I'm gonna either jump in or I could choose to just not do anything and go back to kinda what was happening. And then I thought, well, I don't really wanna go back to, I wanna progress. I want to see what happens with this. And so, basically, I jumped in with both feet. And an interesting side story is that I do have an older sister in spirit who was a beautiful portrait artist, and she was an art teacher for many years, and, um, I have recognized that she had her hand in me pursuing my art because she constantly nagged me when she was, on the earth side, um, always telling me, "You need to be artistic. You're so artistic and creative." Well, I was creative, but I hadn't drawn for 45 years, and I'd only probably drawn 1 or 2 things, and I'd only painted one portrait when I was 17, so we're talking 45 years later, and so I had this big fear of, "Well, what if I can't? Like, what happens then?" And so, my spiritual teacher said, "Oh, go buy some art supplies and come on out to my place, and we'll do some meditation, and we'll see who comes through, see what happens." Okay, sure. So, on my drive out there, a couple hours away, I was talking to myself in the car, and I remember saying, "Well, who am I supposed to draw? I don't know what I'm doing." And all of a sudden, I had this vision in the clouds of a native spirit guide. And I kind of blinked and it was gone. And then I would ask again and he would reappear. And this happened, continually on the way out. And I thought, okay, so that's a bit strange. But so I got in and we had tea. And before we even got to the meditation, I heard a very loud, booming voice. Get your pad of paper and pencil out, and we're ready. We're ready to go. And so I did. As directed, put the pencil down, and it started to move. And it, within, 45 minutes, I had this drawing of this native guide, and my friend said, "Oh, that's my native guide. He's here all the time. I recognize him." And that was kind of the beginning. And so, um, I've been really honored to to bring through spirit, and I'm really I am really passionate about introducing your spirit guides to you through a visual. And so why, people ask me all the time, well, why would I want to have my spirit guide drawn? And well, first off, it's a visual connection to that unknown. There's lots of unknowns out there, but it's this visual connection. And also, while I draw, of course, they channel many, many message of, pureness from that realm of spirit. Um, and uh, there's been so many. I've drawn over 1,000 since I started, and there it just never ceases to amaze me how accurate and how validating their messages can be and how helpful. And even in my own life, in terms of my spirit guide team, I call them my board of directors, and there's lots of other names for them, but um, this band of spirit guides. And what I have learned is that um, it has provided this unique mediumship ability, and it's blossomed. I took some more art classes and, learned facial features, but for the most part, they guide the pencil and they guide the drawings in terms of, they were graphite first and now they're color, and now I'm painting and all sorts of things. But I want to move to, at the very beginning, I did my practice, and the practice was, I was told, drawing for 40 days. Get in the zone, do your meditation, get in the zone, raise your vibration, create your sacred space, blah, 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 and then pick up that pencil and we'll bring through a guide. And I did that for 40 days. And I didn't know who these guides were, or sometimes they wouldn't tell me who they were, and even if they were for anybody. And as I began to progress, they would have me bring these drawings to psychic fairs and different things. And sure enough, when somebody sat down and then the guide just sort of sat in front of them, in this translucent state, I would know that that was the guide for them. And I'd finish the drawing and do the reading. And so, um, I have a very close friend who lost a daughter, and she was a friend of my daughter's at 17. And one day I'd been asking, could you bring her through? And they would say, no, you're not ready. No, you're not ready. No, you're not ready. And then all of a sudden one day, uh, my my artist guide came through. I had been asking for him too, and this was at sort of that 40-day mark. And he came through in 10 minutes. My hand was moving so fast, I had no idea what I was drawing, and boom, he's there. And then I think I was questioning at that point, "Is this real? Like, really?" And they were showing me yes, it was. And then I went to put the pencil down and they said, "No, get another piece of paper. You're not done yet." And I picked up another piece of paper, started drawing on it, and it was my friend's daughter, and she had been gone for quite a few years already. And she came through, and it was before we could text pictures on cell phones. And so I emailed her, took a picture and emailed her a copy, and then she right away called and said, "Why did you do a drawing of our daughter?" And I said "Well, I guess I need to tell you about my journey to to Alaska." So, to make a long story short, we went there, it was a day's drive away. We went there and I spent 4 hours with them, finishing the drawing and bringing through messages from her of such powerful, powerful healing that that was when I knew this is more than just art. This is about healing and helping people to heal and build a foundation, y um, so that they can, really embrace their divineness in the world and what they are meant to do. And so it's been pretty amazing. So there have been many instances of, profound messages for people, with the spirit guides. And we some of the basic, um, messages, first off, is spirit is there. They await you. Are you ready? Do you have free will in order for them to, appear in your life? And so they are always ready and willing and available. And they know your journey in a way that they can help you and steer you in the right direction, assist you in decision making in terms of that connection. And they can be a unique perspective on personal growth, and your own spirituality to embrace your own journey, by connecting with the spirit realm. And um, we all connect, maybe in different ways. And there's so much out there that it isn't just one, singular path. And one of the messages that came through, certainly for me, as a spirit coach, I kind of moved into that spirit coach realm because the guides were pointing me in that direction to say people need more. They need more than a drawing and a reading. They need a way to really sit with the information that they've received and learn how to use that information. And I thought that was fascinating, and I resisted for a while to do the actual coaching, but then it kept coming and coming. So, as a spirit I call myself a spirit coach strategist because, I strategize with spirit, although they're kinda doing a lot of the work. So it is about, you know, tuning in, learning how to tune in, learning how to connect. And one of the things, a couple things that I certainly realized is that I needed to heal myself first, sort of before that artwork came through to me. So I was just on the tail end of the crystal resonance therapy program that had really changed all and cleared a lot for me, and a lot of healing. And then the physical body was ready to match and be aligned to the spiritual, if you will. Pardon me. And so, connecting to spirit just opens infinite possibilities for you. The spiritual or energy healing can help you learn to love yourself first and clear away the junk, all the noise that's out there. And this helps to create you as the sacred space so that you can connect with your soul essence, which is embracing your divine soul. My vision would be healing through the spirit world, so that people could visually see their spirit guides and then have them as, all these advisors to in the purity of spirit. And, it can be a real healing of one's soul, or even just questions of, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm good at. I'm, uh, I'm struggling. I need help. I feel stuck. Um, I'm not feeling good. I really believe there's this process of, even with the drawings, they always give me a meditation or kind of a mini healing to help people with, and then they move into the drawing. And there's always this part of healing, which is clearing the debris and creating that really solid foundation, to then, work with spirit. And I wanted to just say that my gift for everyone is called sprints. And it's a meditative coloring mandala. The one that I have behind, I did a black and white, and it just allows you to color it. And then there's also a couple of the spirit guide soul divination play pages to help you tap into your intuition and guide you with connecting to spirit. And uh, there, just to talk a bit about that, is, I created a spirit guide soul divination oracle deck. The second edition pre-sale will be happening along with a transformational journey, of which I've taken a couple of those pages out, and they will be available for pre-order as well. It's a perpetual journal to work with your spirit guides on an ongoing basis. I was directed which 44 spirit guides. This is this is this is the deck here. Oops, right there. And um, I I love that. I pulled a card for you, and um, his name is Many Fish on the River, and it's about perspective. And I'm gonna see if I can hold that up. There, he's kind of there. So it was two different perspectives drawn of that guide, and it just says, honor the variety of spiritual perspectives. Be open to the possibilities of other realms. There are great teachings to be received. Journey in meditations or dream time. And the mantra is, I am a channel for higher realms. And the crystal that's associated with, because as a crystal person, I had them uh, choose a crystal when they were channeling me, the messages. And this is a zestulite. And a zestulite expands our connection to the realms, and inner light magnifies. It's a beautiful crystal to work with in meditation. So I'm going to invite you to um, take a look at the offer of having a session with me to experience your spirit guide being drawn and channeled for you, and just to be curious. I invite you to be curious about spirit, about how spirit can help you in your journey. How can it help you to overcome adversities of even severe health challenges? And um, and these certainly have shaped my healing journey and my spiritual beliefs, my discipline, and my devotion. And there's always an opportunity to connect with me and um decide maybe some spirit coaching is in your future. So I thank you very much for listening, and I thank Isaiah and Chris for this platform. Just loving this opportunity. So blessings to everyone, and um, you know, may you be happy and healthy. And so it is.
That's it for this episode. The next one is still in creation. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, if you want to support this podcast, share, subscribe, and leave stars, blue thumbs, and a review on whichever platform you listen to. If you want to be accompanied in the change processes that life offers you, if you want to live a goddess life daily and participate in the awakening of feminine energy in the world, know the secrets of witches, and apply the rituals of fairies in your daily life, contact me on my website, isayabelle.com. You can also subscribe to my newsletter to be informed of all the news in the real and virtual world of Isayabelle. You will, of course, find this podcast on all platforms: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, etc., but also on YouTube and on my website, isayabelle.com, on the podcast page.